everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Outside Line Podcast. The Outside Line Podcast. Outside Line Podcast.
Hang on to her, buddy. There's still three. He got him. He's on the side.
It just makes sense. It's too logical for them for NASCAR, though.
Carson.
I'm glad you hear us, NASCAR. Make sure you keep listening. We'll see what happens. I'm going to take a breath here. That was a long rant.
Those cars are a lot tougher than an F1 car.
Yeah, that's what I like about IndyCar. You really need the spotter.
This is going to be fun. So, why don't we go north of the border to Canada with Formula One? The Canadian Grand Prix is this weekend. We touched a little bit on that last week. Verstappen came out once again with the win last year. Do we feel as though anything will change this year?
No.
No.
I'm here to break it to you. No.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Here's the new thing that we could do, since it's we can't really do our predictions for F1 because it's too predictable. What if we just do our dark horse predictions?
Or a podium.
Yeah, or a podium.
We could definitely do that. So,
pick a podium, fellas.
I don't. Excuse me. I don't want to be cheap and just pick the top three. But I will pick for my podium Verstappen P1, Alonso P2, and Hamilton P3.
Gotta disagree with you on that one. I don't think that Aston Martin's going to do well in Canada just because their car is more suited for smaller tracks and
kind of like
power
Monaco
tracks. And I actually think Ferrari will be up there. I'm thinking the podium will be, say, Verstappen, Perez, and Charles.
Okay,
because I think
close to me.
Ferrari has made some progress, despite them being Ferrari. They've looked decent, and then looking back at their qualifying runs, they've looked good. So I'm expecting something with Ferrari this weekend.
Okay. See, for me, obviously Max at number one. Number two, I like Lewis at number two, getting second place this weekend, and then at three, Chris kind of beat me to it, but Charles, I think is going to kind of fill that spot. So kind of get Ferrari back up there. They need some points. They are like 6th and 7th in points. Like they need some points. So, and I would really like to see, Aston Martin have a solid weekend. But to Chris's point, this might be one of those off weekends for them. We'll have to see. But I'm gonna go Max. I'm gonna go Lewis, and then I'm going Charles.
I was thinking about picking Lewis. I really was, because Mercedes has been looking good too.
They had a very good run last week. I liked a lot because they were 2 and 3 with Lewis and George, and I say that top three, but I really don't think George is going to be that far behind. I see George at 4th or 5th this week, but Mercedes is catching up slowly but surely, and I'll tell you what, confidence is key, and I think both Lewis and George earned a lot of confidence after Spain last week. So there's a lot of confidence heading into Canada, and I've got confidence in them. I'll tell you that much.
You know what the problem? You know what the problem with that is, though, with the double podium for Mercedes. What was it last week?
Mm-hmm.
They were still 23 seconds behind Max at the end of the race. So
no, it wasn't. I was thinking, was Spain changeable conditions? No, I was thinking of something else. But yeah.
Red Bull go brr.
Brr.
So our podiums for
Cargo
Canada,
vroom.
Yeah, our RB19 go vroom. So our podium for Canada, myself, Verstappen, Alonso, Hamilton, Chris, Verstappen, Perez, Charles, and then Mason, Verstappen, Hamilton, and Charles. So you guys have got faith in Ferrari. I obviously don't. So I'm going to probably be
That's
hunted
fair.
down. I'm probably going to be hunted down by the Italian press in just a little bit. So, you know.
I mean, that's fair that you don't have a lot of faith in Ferrari. Yeah.
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 I mean, they have not been impressive.
No.
Well, they have been impressive, but not in a good way.
And not where they
It's
should
true.
be impressive either.
That's very true. So in other news, the Formula One 2023 game is coming out this coming Friday. As we said earlier, we're very looking forward to this game. I'm excited for it. I wasn't really excited about it last year, but I'm excited for this game. So it should be good. I'm really hoping there's no stupid bugs or anything like this, but this is EA we're talking about. So you never know.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. And F1 2022, it got a lot of hate. Was it deserved? I don't know. It just leave that up to the player. I enjoyed it, but it did have some issues. But you know what I'm looking forward to most? Red flags.
Oh yeah.
I've been asking for red flags for since what, 2016? And I think
the last time.
I think that would fix the bugs too.
It should, because the last time we saw red flags in an F1 game was 2013, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. And that they were rare. I mean, I remember when I was playing F1 2012, when I was in Monaco, I would actually intentionally bring out a red flag just to spice it up. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that, and I'm really looking forward to see how they work too, and how easy it is to bring out a red flag.
Yeah, that's going to be the first thing I do. Just plow into a tire barrier, see if it'll bring out a red flag or not. Maybe take a car or two with me. So we'll see.
I plan to have my anti-stall go on at the start of the race, because the last few times this happened to me, it caused big pileups, and that was always by accident. I always mistime the start.
Well, I'll tell you what.
One time I was in France and I took out 6 cars by accident, and I looked behind me. I was like, "Whoops!"
Sounds like such a Chris thing, honestly.
Sorry, guys.
I totally didn't mean it, but oops.
I'll tell you what. I'm really excited though to see. I don't know if I want to say I'm really excited, but I am intrigued enough to see the new F1 World game mode that they're coming out with. It's supposed to be similar to kind of an Ultimate Team. As somebody that played Madden Ultimate Team as a kid, and I usually have about a month where I kind of dabble in it, and then I get sick of it and I don't play it anymore. So usually that month is like October. I get really into the game, and then I never touch the Ultimate Team section again. I'm intrigued to see how that kind of works in F1. There's been so many rumors over the years of that sort of game mode being added into NASCAR, that sort of game mode being added into, F1. There's been a lot of rumors of that. This is the first iteration of sort of an Ultimate Team on any sort of motorsport game. So it's going to be interesting to see how it works. I'm interested to see how the whole online thing works. It's a very interesting mode. It's intriguing. I am like I said, very interested to kind of try it out. I want to see how it works. I want to see how much it draws me in. I want to see if it helps kind of make me play something other than my career mode, because that's really all I play on F1 is my career mode. So, or my team. So I would love to see this game mode be successful, but there is that concern that it also becomes sort of a money pool for EA, like most EA games are. So there's a lot of concern with that. It's finding that balance that I feel like no EA game has had for many years. So there's a lot of concern, but it could be something good. I'm really just excited to see the concept put into a motorsports game. It's been talked about so much So to actually see it happen is going to be very cool.
I'm mostly concerned about that it'll take away the focus from single player game modes, and they're going to start focusing only on Ultimate Team and basically no new content coming anymore. Because, like we said, this is EA, and they have a history of this. Although I will admit they haven't been bad for it in the last few years. They've been a lot better.
Well, and there's different, like, as a Madden player, Madden's way of doing things is entirely different compared to NHL and compared to FIFA. And I know FIFA fans and NHL fans, they complain about the games, but the game is miles ahead of anything compared to Madden. I mean, Madden is so low, and I find F1 to be miles ahead of those sort of games too. So F1's a really, really good game. Obviously, you don't want EA to kind of drag it down or anything like that, but I feel like that they've made some improvements that help it. It's just hoping this game mode doesn't drag it down. But there's ways that, NHL's Chell has done a really good job of keeping people intrigued. In the NFL, the Madden games have tried to come up with game modes like that, and it just doesn't work. So the fact that they're trying with F1, we'll see if it works. It may work, it may not, but it's all about the execution for sure.
Let me ask y'all this. What is your plan for career mode? Are you going to do my team?
I did my team this year, so I'm taking a nice retirement. I'm just driving the car for other people's teams, but I did my team last year. I am cool, chillaxing, and not worrying about all of that this year because it was a headache.
What was y'all's team?
Our team name?
Yeah. And
Hollywood
what you
F1.
based it on?
Hollywood F1.
It's funny because I'm a biased NASCAR fan, but I've always dedicated like a little my team name to Jason Leffler, who passed away at the day of recording this 10 years ago today. His nickname was Left Turn. So I've always nicknamed my race team like either Left Turn Motorsports or Left Turn Autosports, just depending on what the game would be.
That's fair. That's a nice tribute.
I like it. I went by Hollywood F1
Andretti.
last year. Andretti? Okay.
I
always go with Hollywood F1. It's easy for me.
I used to go with Jordan because Jordan was one of my favorite teams growing up.
Yeah.
I always loved the car, how the car looked. And so they were kind of my thing growing up. But recently I kind of changed to Andretti just because Andretti's been a big thing in F1 the last couple of years. And it just looks right. Seeing Andretti Motorsport, Andretti Autosport in F1, it just looks natural.
Yeah, like when you read down the board, like on a career mode after practice, and it looks like what a normal board would look like in real life if something like that were to happen. I get that 100%. That's my hard part that's the hard time I have with my logo. It's like everything is fine about mine, and then there's just the logo, and I'm like, the logo is not the coolest thing in the world.
It sticks out like a sore thumb.
Well, why do we only have? There's 26 letters in the alphabet. Why are there only like 12 you can pick from for the like? I need an H. There are no H's. Why are there no H's? This is not Wheel of Fortune. Put some freaking H's for the logos, please. It would be very helpful because otherwise, right? I'd put Hollywood F1. There's no H's. There's no F's. There is an F, but it looks like crap. So I have to choose a buck that has nothing to do with my team. It's just the only one that I thought looked interesting. And then it just looks awful on my team members' like uniforms. Which I love my livery. I have like a blood orange I go for like a blood orange kind of color, and I mix it with some black and some white, and I think it looks really good. I changed it up for my second season that I started this past week, just to kind of differ it a little bit, so like it doesn't, because I was having a hard time because it kind of looks like it was more red in the first season, so it looked like Ferrari. Now it's more blood orange, so I can actually tell the difference.
See, I base mine off of the chrome McLaren from I think it was 2007. They need to bring those back. The Vodafone McLaren. I really like that, and or the West McLaren. But I mostly base it off of that. But I've been thinking about going back to yellow because yellow and red, if it's done right, that can look good.
100%.
But if
At
it's not
Ferrari.
done right, it can just look like ketchup and mustard.
Yep. So
Like the DHL from
Ryan Hunter-Ray.
yeah, and the DHL from Jordan, and I think it's 2002. That looked good too.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer the Buzzing Hornets, but it still looked good. Y'all are probably too young to remember the Buzzing Hornets.
Oh yes.
Correct.
That was great.
We just got aged on air.
Welcome
That's
back to our new segment, the Christopher History Show.
Yeah, old
Correct.
man noises. Yeah. Back in my day, had to go up both ways in the snow to the racetrack. And yeah, driving my Model T.
Jeez.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on before we get way out of line.
Oh, I think we passed that.
Oh, definitely.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching this most recent edition of the Outside Line podcast. If you like what you heard, make sure to check us out on Spotify at The Outside Line. And if you liked Christopher, Jacob, and I's opinions, make sure to check us out on Backsports page for more articles and opinions about F1, NASCAR, and IndyCar. Thank you again for watching The Outside Line.